All right, hey everyone, welcome back for another live stream here on the OG, creating OG images. Yeah, so off stream yesterday, I kind of tried to make my own layout. That's kind of where we ended things, and it was okay. There's definitely some terminology you have to learn here, and I think once you learn the difference between like the backgrounds, the image itself, themes, then layouts, and some of the customizations that they mention here. Once you kind of understand the terminology, it's not too bad, especially if you've done any kind of like window layout or anything of that nature. So if you've worked on like a desktop app or an iOS app, like it makes sense. But I will say it's a bit painful, and I'm not all the way there. So let me show you where I ended. Okay, so let's bring everybody on the same page, and I think I'm going to keep working on this. But again, it's not very fast, and I don't think it makes for a very good stream. It's really kind of just pixel perfect. You know, it's just like breaking out a design that you get, and now you're putting it into like CSS and HTML. Like it takes a little time, right? And it takes some tweaking and some adjusting, and not everything's pixel perfect. So let's just see. Again, I hacked on this for about an hour off stream. I'm gonna open up my current little guy here. I don't even think we need to go that far. Let's just regenerate it, and we can see here that I'll kind of work in the code that I wrote for it too. But if we look at the test PNG that's generated, it's my own layout now, and I've got this deep dive and a 5-minute read, and now it's a matter of just kind of moving, and I started to drop in the little shift watermark down here. So it's still quite ugly, but much like a Tailwind design or anything like that, I'm not too worried about it, because based on what I've learned, once I have this layout, everything in the right position, it's really just a matter of like throwing in the styles in a configuration file. Like, so Tailwind, you just say, okay, red's not really Tailwind's red, it's gonna be our brand red. Like, that's the easy part here with deep dive and all that kind of stuff. So styling it through the theme is going to be pretty easy. The hard part, the painful part that the pain I'm feeling so far is in this layout file. So what I've done is copy the GitHub, kind of that GitHub layout that they give you out of default, and I've added some things to it, like this category and read time. And then it's basically just a matter of positioning what this package calls features. So all these little different things here, the title, the 5-minute read, the category, this watermark, they're all features within your layout that you set. And again, on the surface, oh, I'm bouncing around everywhere. On the surface, this is pretty straightforward. If we look at the script, like, at a high level, it's got a really, really nice API, but as usual, as with a lot of things, once you need to customize it, it really starts to slow down. So if you like one of the default layouts and you're able to kind of style it the way that you want, you know, using these high-level API methods, this is a super clean package. Like, this is great. I mean, we're generating OG images right away. But again, I want to brand this a little bit more like Shift, and because of that, I'm having to go a lot deeper and kind of mess with this layout file. So kind of the pain now is that its grid system, if you will, or its box model inside of the image that it's creating it's not exactly what you might think. So knowing kind of how to offset things from each other, it's not as simple as saying like, okay, this image is 00 and this heading is 060. Like, it is and it isn't, because once you start basing things off of each other, like this deep dive and 5-minute read, you know, you have to really start to anchor things and move things around. So we can see here that the box is a certain width. We can make things relative to one another, and that sounded really easy at first, but in practice, we can see here like this little header that I'm trying to add across the top, kind of like on the Shift website. This guy, these little chiclets, or this stripe, if you will, the racing stripe sounds cooler than chiclets. This racing stripe here that I want to put across the top. For whatever reason, even though I've sized it the exact size of this image, you know, I've stolen it off the Shift website. Here it is, gradient, everything, the little dots. it's the same size as the image, and I'm putting it at 0, 0. Again, as you would think, but it's not showing up correctly. I don't know if it's because the image is encoded weird as a PNG. I don't know if it's an image magic thing or an OG image thing. I don't know what's wrong with that. So again, just kind of getting back to a bit of the pain of kind of setting up this layout. So I'm not going to focus on this too much in today's stream. I don't think it's worth it. There's nothing wrong with this package by any means. It's just to set up a custom layout for your own OG image is just going to take a little time, right? Again, I only spent about an hour on this off stream, but the point is that it's a one-time investment, and now I'm going to be able to generate this branded for, you know, the Shift blog for forever. So relative to forever, 1 hour is absolutely nothing. But again, I'm going to hack on this a little more, continue off stream. Hopefully tomorrow by tomorrow I'll have this laid out so we can actually see this finalized. I think today what's going to be more fun is to actually go in and make the script. We know we're going to use this package. That's kind of what I wanted to prove out. I'm okay using this package. I think it's lightweight, which is nice. I don't have to go set up like BrowserShot and Puppeteer, which would probably require some kind of Docker or CI environment, right? I don't have all that set up locally, and I don't think most devs do. So that kind of makes it a no-go. What would be nice about that is I could just lay all this crap out in Tailwind and I would have been done already. So again, trade-offs, right? But I don't think all the setup of that is worth, you know, again, not having to go in here and just being able to focus for 20 minutes and get this box model layout right, because that's probably all it'll take. So I'll do that off stream. Let's get back to just the script. And what I want to do now is basically attempt to plug in these items through like a script, right? So I want to generate these images for each one of my posts. So now that we've kind of proven that we can generate this programmatically, again, once I kind of finalize that Shift layout, I want to be able to plug in each one of these things for all of my blog posts. So that means two things. One, we need to make this a bit more scripty. We're going to pass it some arguments from the command line. Now, of course, we could go, you know, to Symfony console. We could go to a Laravel 0 app. We could do all that crazy stuff. I'm just going to stick with PHP because, again, it's like 5 variables that I have to pass in. It's not that huge of a deal. Plus, I potentially am going to parse this stuff out anyway, you know, in a loop. So what I'm going to do right now simply is just probably make these things that can change variables, and then let's turn those variables into a loop. So if we can do that in the stream today, I think that's a win. And tomorrow we'll kind of finalize everything and put a bow on it. So let's just start breaking these out into what they are. So category, perfect. We got this read time. Let's bring this out. I'm gonna stick old school PHP here. I'm gonna stick with some, you know, snake case, if you will. I'm not gonna change any background color. That's all part of the layout. I'm not gonna change the watermark. That's all part of the layout. Let's var this off. Again, the URL, perfect. Okay, so it's PHP Storm's helping out by just reading from the variable names or the properties. So cool, title. Okay, so that should be, and then finally, of course, yes, we would want this kind of file name, right? So let's var, it's a little bit ugly, but let's var this part out as file name. All right, and here we'll just say file name equals, let's keep it test. Okay, so we varred everything out. We should be able to run this script again and still get our test image, right? And just for giggles, let's make this like an 11-minute read just so we can prove that this all worked. So we're gonna run our little script again. Hopefully nothing explodes, nothing did. And if we bring up our test image, 11-minute read, deep dive. Okay, so all of our scripts are working. Just breaking this out real quickly works. Okay, so step 2, I think here is going to be making these images based on my blog posts. So let's go take a look at that. If we go to shift.blog, or sorry, it's blog.laravel shift. Yeah, let's go out to the GitHub repo and let's go into posts and let's kind of talk about what we need to do here. Let's look at raw. Okay, here we go. We can get the title and the category and even the description if we want. We don't necessarily have read time here. I'm not going to focus on that today. That can be an optimization. I think it's calculated on deploy, but I could probably pre-calculate it and put it in the front matter is the point. So I'm not going to worry too much about the read time. We'll just leave it 11 minutes for today. What I'd like to be able to do is pass in the directory of my blog posts as an argument to our script, right? Let's rename this to generator. Let's quit calling it script. Let's rename this to generator real quick. So let's call this like refactor rename. Let's call it the OG generator. OGinator. Yes. No, that's silly. Generator. Sorry. We used to have a I'm old enough where like things like Tron and stuff were like really, really cool. And of course, I guess Transformers and so forth. So a lot of the tools that we built really early, we had this tool called Mergatron that was like, it would merge in all of our branches and effectively like deploy things for us. So I just, OGinator made me think of, made me reminisce. So anyway, let's do PHP OG generator. And then now we would want to pass this something like .. blog, Laravel shift, and then posts, right? So we basically want to pass it that. Of course, it's doing nothing with that argument right now. We want to pass it that argument. That's going to now loop over the markdown files within that directory and then read their front matter and use that to set these variables, right? That's what we're going to want to do now. So pretty deep. Let's make it happen. Let's do this. Let's do path, or we don't even need to do that. We could really just say something like, I'm not going to worry about like making sure that you passed in arguments and all that crap right now. We'll let this script explode for now. Again, we can add the polish in the final stream tomorrow. So for now, let's just say something like path equals arg v1. I think 0 is always your script name, so we got that. Now we would want to, I guess PHP comes with like a glob. I think we could just glob, again, not very efficient, I know, but I think we could glob path names. Yes, here we go. So we can say star 0 or more patterns. So we can say like star MD, right? So how does this, I haven't used glob in years. What is this? So we just glob this. How does it know which path? Can we set the path? Is that like a second? Is that a second argument? No, int flags. Glob pattern. Okay, searches for all path names matching pattern according to the rules. How do you set the, what do you got to do? You got to swap like current directory, glob only directory, glob mark. I guess you pass it the full path, right? Array merge glob. I guess it's meant to be run in the current directory, I suppose. Can you pass? I don't know. Let's find out. Can you pass glob something? Can I say like path dot slash md? We could say posts equals that. Var dump posts exit. Or 0 is the default. Let's just, I don't even know. Does this work? No, it does not. Okay. Why does it not work? Oh, because it's not a dot, it's a slash. Okay, let's give it another try. Hey, okay, so you can pass it a full path. Yeah, it seems like that works. It looks like it automatic. Oh, I got the slash there, so I don't need the slash. I think we could probably pass the argument without the slash. So we could do that. We could say like rtrim. That's a little bit of protection too, right? You can't just like pass in slash. Okay, cool. So this will automatically trim out the slash for us, which, again, not a big deal, but there we go. So we have some nice paths now. So theoretically, we should be able to loop over this and output the file contents. So let's just do that real quick. So we could say for each posts as post, and we could say something like contents equals file get contents, of course, and I'm just going to exit. I'm just going to dump out the very first one. Let's echo contents, and we don't need this other exit. We're all good there. So let's just see if this is actually, okay, cool. We got the front matter now. Now we need to find a front matter, or we have the post content now. Now I need to extract the front matter to get the variables we need to make the OG images. All right, that's not bad. We're cooking with fire today. Okay, I did a little pre-searching on packages. Let's just go down the rabbit hole together. Packages.org. I just did front matter, and look who came up. Our friends at Spatie, YAML front matter, a to the point YAML front matter parser. Almost 1 million downloads. I'm going with them. I'm going with Frake. I'm going with our boys at Spatie. There they are. Sorry, boys and girls at Spatie. There you go. Okay, let's bring them in on, and let's look at how they parse. Great, they've got all sorts of stuff. Package authors, sorry, tangent. You need this. This needs to be at the top. Sorry, it needs to be at the top. You can have a short description if you want, but it's got to be at the top. I love that they have an example here and all that, but I want that to be first. It's just a little sales thing there. It's got to be first. Oh my gosh, and don't have that question mark in there or $sign. What's going on? All right, cool. We brought this in. Now we should be able to use their example. Again, love the example, but just want that to be first and copy and pasteable. That was not copy and pasteable. All right, I'm griping. I'll stop griping. It's old man JMac griping. Okay, let's YAML parse. We already have the file contents, all good. So let's get this back over here. We have our contents, so we're gonna object contents. Yes. Okay, so let's call this front matter, because that's what it is, right? I think. Object matter. Okay. Example title. Okay, perfect. So let's see if we can. Oh, or we can do body. Oh, I guess body's like the content of the post, of course. Okay, that's probably what that is. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Let's do a var dump, or well, we don't need a var dump. Let's just do an echo on front matter arrow title, right? Let's see. Oh, wrong. Didn't hit up arrow enough times. There we go. Composer, ambiguous class resolution. Perfect. That's what we need. Can we echo front matter category? I'm sure we can. We probably need a line break in there. All right. Line breaks help. Common errors. There we go. There's everything. Okay, so this is everything we need. We parsed the front matter thanks to Spatie, super fast. We're just globbing the markdown files inside of our post directory, which we pass in where that exists. So cool. All right, let's give ourselves some more breathing room here. Okay, so what would be next? Next would be pulling this up, making an image. We're not. Oh, okay. We need the URL. That's a little tricky. A little trickier. What does that look like over here? Oh, I think the URL is just the file name, effectively. Okay. That's no problem. Okay, let's fix that. So we're gonna say file name is gonna be the base name of the post path, effectively. .md. Oh, thanks Copilot. You're awesome. And then we have the title. We have all that. We have the category. So I'm not gonna generate these images right now, but I'm gonna exit before I generate the images, or at least continue. Let's continue. All right. I'm not gonna generate the images now. What I want to do is let's set these accordingly. So front matter category goes here. We really don't need the temp variable anymore. Let's just front matter category that. Same thing with title. We don't need that. We can just put this here. Now URL URL is going to get kind of pre-built. So we can say blog.laravelshift.com / and then file name, because we know that's what they are. It doesn't have an extension. Okay, cool. Read time, I'm going to leave it 11. Whoops. Category we can get rid of. Let's get rid of our crappy echo statements here. We can bring this a little closer to home. Read time is like a to-do. Calculate read time, perfect. All right, we have that. We don't need the title anymore. Now we need the file name, which we already have based on that, so that's good. So what we could say here, let's just do this. We could say something like generating that. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Our file name actually would have to be a little bit different. Let's play with that here in a second. Let's just say something like, I could do something like -OG on it or something like that. So let's do this. Okay, so generating composer error ambiguous class resolution -OG.png. It's going to do that. It's going to just put it all here. So these look good. Again, our layout file's messed up, but from a parsing our blog posts and generating these, this looks pretty good. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen, right? Let's put them in a directory so I could easily delete. Let's put it in like a build directory. Let's do that. So let's make dir build. That way I can just quickly remove this directory if we want to regenerate things. Although it overwrites, it's not a huge deal. Okay, continue's gone. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. Hey, let's run it. Let's run it. Boom. It's generating images. It's going to take a second. There's like, what, eight or 9 blog posts? There's a couple things here, so I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But let's let it do its thing for a minute. My iMac's humming. you could probably hear it on the stream. It's cruising. All right, let's see here. I don't think we're in an infinite loop. I hope not. I guess let's get into PHP Storm and see if anything's in our build directory. We got stuff in here. It's very slow. It's very slow. Is more happening? Let's reload from disk. Yeah, see, it's only doing that first one right now. It's making me a little bit nervous. Composer ambiguous class resolution. Shift is down there. Common error. So it's definitely building these based on the data. I don't know why it's not building multiple. Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. iMac sounds like it's slowing down. Could be wrong. Post, post, post. We proved all the file name out. All right, I'm gonna give it like 10 more seconds, then I'm gonna kill it, and we'll put that generating thing back in there. Something is amiss. Composer ambiguous class resolution. Composer error ambiguous class resolution. I don't know why it's only doing one. We're making a new image, so it's not like we're reusing the same image, so that should be okay. Yeah, my iMac's done, so let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna bring back that generating bit. I don't have my -OG down here, so that's just a small thing. Let's get rid of this one. It seems like nothing else is in here. I've reloaded from disk a few times. All right, let's run this again and see where and why it's hanging. So it's claiming that it's generating more, but it's not. When it goes to generate the second one, it dies. Why would it do that? Why would it do that on the second one? Do you have to like free up this image or something somehow? That would be strange. Yeah, I'm not... So clearly as it goes down the second pass, it generates, but then it hangs here. Something's going on here. where it's not pulling that across right. Okay, let's see if there's some kind of like something where I have to like run, I don't know, run these over some more, testing, install, contributing support. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be anything in here that talks about like, you know, letting the image go or something. So that's strange. Is it just image magic on my system is going super, super slow? I don't really know. We could try like a 2-string. That's kind of ugly, but we could try a 2-string. Yeah. Something when it tries to make another image in a loop is just making this thing explode. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's about. Don't have an answer for you there. We're definitely looping over these correctly. We're reading them out correctly. It's got the correct file name. So it seems to be something with this package or something with my system's image magic generation that is hanging. I couldn't give you an answer there. Don't know that one. Render encode save, return this. 2-string. Render encode, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing other than just saving the file path. Again, I don't know. We could see if it's some kind of, I could say something like 2-string here. We could just get rid of this part. I'm just kind of curious. This is gonna output some craziness, but let's just see here. Yeah, it doesn't output anything. Yeah, see, even 2-string, so something in the rendering process of the OG package, something about that's hanging. You can't do it in a loop or something. I don't have an answer there, but it's clearly the package. And it seems to be as part of the rendering. Like if I build the images, it makes them all. See? If I don't try to save them to the system or actually invoking image magic, it just burns through this as a normal loop, right? Just super fast. So something's going on as part of save, as part of the rendering and encoding that this thing doesn't like. So I'm not gonna tool on that for too long. I did hear some peeps in the chat, so let's see if anybody. Oh, it's Simon. Hey, the creator of the package. It could be the title length. Can you try manually creating the second image on its own? Ooh, yeah, that's a fair point. That might have a long title. It is a little bit longer. Yeah, that's fair. Let's just do this. Let's just make the title the same thing from the man himself. Let's see here. So let's just say like some title. All right. Boop, boop. Oh, there it is. Look at that. He knew what was up. He knew what was up. So do I have a lot? So I guess, Simon, if you're still in the stream, is that maybe because of my layout, like not being big enough? Like, is it smart enough to know like the text goes past the layout, or do you just think it's a large string, too large of a string in general for like image magic to render? I'm just trying to see like, do I need to change my layout, which I'm gonna do anyway, or do I need to like truncate these titles, you think? I'm just trying to determine the best way forward. Since you're on the stream, phone a friend. So yeah, let's see what he says while we're waiting on that. I don't know if STR is in here. Yeah, STR. Is there an STR limit, or I'm an old school Laravel land there. So we could substring this though. We could do like a substring of frontline of title 0 and like the first 100 characters. I'm sure 100's got to be fine, right? Let's do this. Boom. Maybe not. Doesn't even like 100 characters. Come on. 80 characters? Maybe? All right, let's try 80. We're going to play around until Simon we'll do what Simon says. Maybe, well, no, we proved its title, because I was going to say maybe it's the URL. Is the URL too long? So it's something about, it's definitely something about let's just make it 40. Get down there. Boom, boom. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Does 40 not even work? Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. I mean, a 20 character title is nothing. There we go. So yeah, it seems somewhere in the range after 20, between 20 and 40 characters, it seems to not be happy. But to carry on and finish today's stream, let's just see. Okay, ambiguous, dependency. Okay, so of course we're cutting these off, but the point is that it is, yeah, nice. These are dynamic is the point. That's what I care about. They are dynamic, right? If I do upgrading configs, then I see deep dive. I see my 20 character chop. Not so awesome. I'll figure that part out. We'll see what Simon says. But yeah, Simon says that it was a character count issues, and it is. So just got to clean that up. And again, that might just be my layout because I was hacking those numbers in there. So we'll see what he says to us. But yeah, okay, so we're generating all of these. I think here's what I want to focus on tomorrow. I'm going to try to finish the layout today. We'll see what Simon says about the title. And then tomorrow, what I'd like to do, the second part of this, obviously right now we're just saving these in a build directory, but I think what would be nice is a couple things. One, when you make an image, right, you need to put it, we potentially need to update the front matter and say, well, here's where the image is, right? So if we go back to that Titan article and we go down, I think they demonstrate like in their front matter content how they adjust that or automatically look for that. Yeah, here we go, OG image. So my first blog post, right? So the point is that in the markdown, once the OG image is generated, I probably want to go back and re-update that, right? So I wonder, and we'll look at this tomorrow, I'll look at this off stream, but I wonder, is there a way, does the SPASI front matter allow you to add stuff back to the YAML, right? That would be cool. If not, we can string replace stuff, so not a big deal. I'll have to look into that. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're generating the images. Hopefully they'll be production ready. And now when I run this little generator, I want them to just be in my, be in the right paths, right? And potentially update the front matter to register that, hey, okay, this thing has its own custom OG image. I don't have to do that necessarily. I mean, I could just have the blog like, no, here's where your image is supposed to be. But if I ever messed up, if I want that to be like SEO optimized, or if I ever didn't generate something or whatever, then it's going to be like a 404 instead of maybe a default OG image. So just kind of thinking out loud there, like I want to probably clean that up a bit. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll see if Simon says anything about those titles. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep working on the layout and we'll go from there. So thanks everyone for joining live. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.